What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday night. Welcome to American Fire. I'm Ace. I'm your host. We've got quite the show for you tonight. My goodness, so much going on. Oh, and I think we're going to have a little fun tonight, too. Don't know if you've been under a rock somewhere, but everybody's big mad about Trump's Jesus picture. So we got to cover that. Sometimes the news is just ridiculousness, but you know what? It can be fun sometimes too. So we got to cover what's going on with that, how they are using it as a psyop. And I kind of, sometimes you wonder if Trump does this stuff on purpose, even though in the moment it's like, what are you doing, man? So we're going to cover all that and how the reaction is building, the insanity that's coming out from the reaction. Then we got some great news going on with the Iran, how that's playing out, which is just incredible. Incredible when you see the numbers of how this is impacting Iran and China, etc. Then Tulsi Gabbard, out of nowhere, decided to drop a bomb, opening up all these classified documents about Trump's impeachment involving Zelensky and Ukraine and the conspiracy behind it. We got to cover that tonight. And then we got Swalwell. Oh, you guys know Swalwell. Swalwell is, he's swallowing deep right now because he's in big doo-doo. He's got so much going on. He announced his resignation, and there's many rumors that it's only the beginning of what's about to hit Congress. So, and you guys thought that was that was it tonight? No, a massive study done by the Cato Institute on Trump's immigration numbers are better than you believed. So I'll be bringing that in tonight as well, covering that. So guys, are you guys ready? Because it's a lot tonight. So buckle up, get comfy, get your coffee, get your beer, whatever it does for you, get your popcorn. We got quite the show for you tonight. All right, let me, before we get started, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you're on X, hit the repost. Thank you guys for your attention to this matter. Let's get into the chizat. Say hey to everybody. And then, my friends, we will be well on our way. D6 report. What's going on, my friend? Stephanie Bridges, how are you? Alice Fordham, Kathy for the birds. It's been a while, Kathy. Good to see you. Kev the Tech, Cass Sink, Seth Linnerode, Davers here. Ray Sandoval, what's up, brother? Ellen Hunt, how are you? Good to see you as well. Vincent Vega, Hero at Large, Shogun. Let's see. Fabuloso Vibes, what's up, man? He does, doesn't he? Roger, what's the fishes? Sleep with the fishes. Salsally, how are you? Who am I missing here? The Wolf. What's up, man? Thank you so much. He's recently found your channel. Love the work. All right. If you guys are new to the channel, I love the chat. So hit me up with your talking points, your questions, whatever. Just make sure you tag me so I can keep track of it. Also welcome super chats, all that stuff, but you don't have to. I'm not asking for your money, but that guarantees you get in if the chat gets crazy as it's been the last few nights. Kim Wiley, what's going on? Sebastian, what's up, brother? Brandon Langley, D-Day, Cobra, and Salty Crackers, all I watch along with you. Wow. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. You guys are too kind. What's up, funny guy? How we doing? Let's see. I got a couple comments already. Let me hit a couple before we get into it. Alan Hunt, how do we have anything left? We sell our oil to other people. We're not selling it all to other people. We can always limit exports if we need to. So don't worry. We have plenty, but we're not at the point where we're even close to running out yet. So the Wolf recently found me. Thank you so much, my good friend. Arbova, the TDS left them. Charissa Meg, thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Glad you guys are watching. I greatly appreciate it. Retro Jad, just come across the channel. Love it. Thank you, guys. Wow. I'm really appreciative of you guys. You guys have so many nice things to say. Lots of new subscribers this past month. All of a sudden, YouTube just decided to let off the shadow ban that's been on my channel for a couple years, and all of a sudden new subs finding me left and right. So glad to have you guys. Thank you for giving me a chance. That's all I can say. So Gladiator says, don't understand why people come up with a thought he depicted Jesus. Anyone saw what Jesus really looked like? Some were extremely angry, show passion. It's crazy. We're going to get to it. Don't worry. Can I explain City of London? Man, I've done so many videos on it. I don't have time tonight. It'll take too long. But Promethean Action would be a great channel for you to watch. Or you could get into the Members Live for free. I did a whole couple of videos on City of London and the Members Lives, and you can get into that for free for a month if you go into the Patreon down in the description. But that would be your best chance. Jedi Master just subbed. Awesome. Righteous Gemstones, first time catching a live. Love the show. Thank you, sir. Z-Grooms is here. All right. Also, because we got a lot of new people, just about to get started. But listen, I got one rule for the chat, and it's be respectful. That's it. If you're trolling, you're out. If you're a jerk, you're out. No free speech in my house. Okay. Free speech, government. Yes. Free speech in my house? No. I'm a dictator of the chat. You guys are welcome to disagree, ask questions, be respectful, and you get to stay. But the mods, they know what I like, and they know how to kick. So just a heads up to the new peeps. Okay, but I know you guys are great. I don't have to worry about it. All right, let's get moving. We got to get into this because, like I said, I got a lot to get through. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do this in under 2 hours. Whew, you guys. All right, pray for me. Oh, maybe I could have Trump pray for me based on this picture. All right, this picture today, he posted it yesterday on Truth Social, but today was the backlash. And this, my friends, you would have thought that Trump dressed himself up, came up to the podium, stood out in front of the White House, or addressed the nation and said, I am the Messiah. You must bow before me. I am Jesus returned. That's what you would have thought based on the response to this photo. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I saw this photo yesterday. I looked at it for 20 seconds, 10 seconds, and I laughed and I moved on. I saw this photo and I thought, Trump is like a monk healing the nation. That's literally what I thought. And as soon as I leave, I thought it was a nothing burger, thought it was funny, along with him bashing the Pope, which this Pope deserves to be bashed, as so many of them have. But I got to say, guys, this is, I know, I get it. It wasn't wise to post it. It is close enough. But we don't have brains anymore. Is there just no sense of humor in America anymore? Really? We're going to make this the big thing. So Trump, this wasn't even his picture. 2 months ago, this Nick Adams guy posted this. America's been sick for a long time. President Trump's healing the nation. So this is how I see it having gone down. Somebody in Trump's circle, one of his social media people, was like, hey, you see this? This is funny. This is funny. This is interesting. And Trump was probably like, yeah, look at that. Ha! Yeah, you can post it. And they did. So there's two ways to think about it. He did that and was like, oh, dude, and then the backlash came and he was like, just take it down. That, or there's another side of people believing that he's trying to tell us something, that some exposure is coming out because he mentioned the Red Cross today. And so, I don't know. I don't care. Either way, this is Trump being Trump. If you don't know it at this point, I mean, come on. Like, what's the problem? I do believe Trump has become a Christian in recent years. I really do. I mean, the man is running the most pro-Christian administration I've ever seen. We are having revival breaking out in America. The the benefits to Christianity, especially in the United States, that Trump has brought is insanely massive. I mean, you could document it. It's huge. So would he do that if he didn't actually have faith? We've had plenty of other Christians pretend to be Christians, claim to be Christians. They didn't do half of what Trump's done. So personally, I believe he's had that change. But when you're older and you've had a ton of bad habits and you weren't a moral person, guess what? You are kind of a baby Christian even when you're older. So is it perfectly believable to me that Trump posted this not thinking it made him look like Jesus? Absolutely. But even if it did, he was just being funny. And he didn't realize maybe in the moment how offensive this would be to people. But he learned pretty quick. Here's Trump himself talking about his thought process and with it.
Did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and it had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
All right, so there's Trump's breakdown of it. What does he say? I'm a doctor. He mentions healing, and he talks about basically healing the nation because he says, I do help people get better. And he talks about the tax money he saved her. So he's obviously talking with imagery, not being specific. All right. So Trump's mindset, and then he does drop the Red Cross. Well, many of us who've been following this for a while know the Red Cross is extremely corrupt. Extremely. So why drop this now? And that's where you kind of think like maybe there's more going on to this. But either way, I just don't see how it's offensive at this point, unless you're just looking to get offended. So I'm going to ask the chat a question. Were you offended by Trump's Jesus picture? And let's see what the poll brings. This poll's over on YouTube. All right, so you guys vote on that. Let me know. But in the meantime, let's just keep going through this and let's compare it. Well, first, JD Vance weighed in as well. So let's hear JD.
But it really caused a kerfuffle, Mr. Vice President. I'm just wondering what you make of all of this and whether it's what you think of this back and forth with the church.
Well, first of all, Brett, I think the president was posting...
Hold on a second. I can't help myself. Listen to how serious Brett is. And let's just laugh for a second because this is these people, man. I don't know how they keep a straight face, but it's like this stuff is just so ridiculous. But I just got to listen to this again. But Brett he's killing me with how serious he is here.
President, I'm just wondering what you make of all of this and whether it's what you think of this back and forth with the church.
What do you think about all this? What Brett just perfect stone face there.
Well, first of all, Brett, I think the president was posting a joke, and of course he took it down because he recognized that a lot of people weren't understanding his humor in that case. I think the president of the United States likes to mix it up on social media, and I actually think that's one of the good things about this president is that he's not filtered. He doesn't send everything through a communications professional. He actually reaches out directly to the people.
We all love that.
When it comes to the disagreements with the Vatican, look, we're going to have disagreements, Brett, from time to time. I think it's a good thing, actually, that the Pope is advocating for the things that he cares about. But we're always going to have disagreements on matters of public policy, or I should say, sometimes we're going to have disagreements on matters of public policy. The Pope has been critical of our immigration policy, but ultimately the immigration policy of the United States is set by Donald Trump.
But it really caused...
JD just handling it masterfully. He's Catholic. And so for him to actually come out and say it's okay to criticize the Pope, well, that tells you what kind of Catholic he is right there. Because the hardcore Catholic people, like capital C Catholics, they they believe that the Pope, when it comes to matters of morality and spirituality, that he's almost like he can't be questioned. He's what's the word I'm looking for? It's like with the, it's basically his opinion's perfect on this stuff, which is insane to think any man could have perfect opinions on anything. But so JD, that's a good answer. That's what I want to hear from him going forward, because we're going to be dealing with this stuff more. This is not the only pope Trump has called out. And apparently Catholics don't care because they voted for him by 55%. But now let's look at the backlash, because they had to take it up to crazy notches. Oh my God, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's very, very upset. Poor MTG, gorilla face. Unorthodox Easter, President Trump attacked the Pope because the Pope is rightly against Trump's war in Iran. Then he posted this picture of himself as if he's replacing Jesus. This comes after last week's post of his evil tirade on Easter and then threatening to kill an entire civilization. I completely denounced it, and I'm praying against it. Okay, moral high horse, clutch those pearls. And then she doubles down. It's more than blasphemy. It's an Antichrist spirit. Guys, like, okay, so Tucker first dropped the whole Antichrist bit about, what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? We covered this. So Tucker drops this, and now they're all running with it. Oh, he's like, oh, Antichrist, that's good. Why? Well, because Trump's base, the biggest block in his base is evangelical Christians. That's just a fact here in America. Evangelical Christians love Trump, and they're very scared of the Antichrist. They're very wary of the Antichrist. They have the belief system that the world has to get worse, and then the Antichrist will deceive us all. And so this, my friends, is a psyop directly trying to destroy his base. They went after MAGA. It didn't hit. They tried to get, Trump is now a pro-war president. MAGA didn't bite it. Didn't care. It was like, nope, no boots on the ground. This doesn't look like we're getting stuck. We trust Trump. Okay, didn't work. They tried to deface Charlie Kirk and and change who he really was and use all that nonsense to turn Trump against and say, with Charlie gone, Trump's gone crazy. Didn't work. MAGA stayed with him. So now it's shifting gears. Now it's the Antichrist thing. It's like, okay, here we go. Trump is actually the Antichrist. He's actually the guy. He's deceiving you. There's a spirit upon this guy. It's going to he's being used as a purveyor of light, like on the surface, but deep down he's darkly destroying our nation and betraying us. And it goes deep. I mean, I'm not going to go into the deep stuff here on the show, but I'll tell you, there's some crazy people out there who are doing all this breakdowns on Trump that like, oh, he took the head wound. He was supposed to die. We thought he died. That's biblical. And oh, he's got a rotting arm and, because he's got that bruise on his hand. It's, this is all proof he's the Antichrist. We're seeing the signs. So Tucker Carlson and them have all jumped on this now and doubling down. The problem is that MTG, like, you got all this problem with what Trump said, but what about your own words? Just a couple years ago, here we are in 2022, MTG claimed the Catholic Church is controlled by Satan. Well, wouldn't that be a good thing then if Trump challenged it? If the Catholic Church is controlled by Satan and Trump attacks it, doesn't that make him a saint? Doesn't that make him pro-Jesus? I don't know, but I know logic and deep thoughts are not Marjorie Taylor Greene's strong points. This woman is a complete and utter fraud. She can't keep track of all the time she's backtracked and lied and said other things, but the internet's forever, honey. We have the receipts. She also posted evil is being defeated by the hand of God on the day Pope Francis died. Wow. And suddenly she just cares so much about the Pope and the Catholics, the Vatican, just, well, I mean, listen, once a shill, always a shill. You can't go back. And, Marjorie, You had us duped when you first came on the scene, 2020. You said a good game, talked a good game, and but we all started seeing it once you started sidling up with Kevin McCarthy back around 2022, and ever since then it's just gotten worse and worse. So we're on to you, Marjorie, but nice try. It was a nice try. She's just not as good at this as other people, and well, speaking of other people that are actually good at it, here's Tucker. Now, the problem with Tucker is that he was really good at it. He got a lot of us, and I'll be honest, he got me. I really, really liked Tucker for a while. But now it's just he's gone too far, and now we see it. It's just like Alex Jones. Many of us liked Alex Jones for a while, but you go too far, you start seeing trends over time. These are the guys, though, who are good at it. And Tucker had his own words for Trump, for MAGA, I should say, in regards to Trump's Jesus picture.
President Trump posts image portraying himself as Jesus Christ. It's more than blasphemy. It's an Antichrist spirit.
Word for word, it's more than blasphemy? More than blasphemy? I didn't really know you could do more than blasphemy there, Tucker. But the Antichrist spirit thing, that's kind of funny that you're saying the exact same thing as Marjorie Taylor Greene. Can you see it, folks? I mean, for me, this is one of those, and I'm going to say it, and I'm sorry. I might as well make it a tagline and put it on a t-shirt now. I say it so much. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And this is, again, one of those moments. Somebody put out the memo. Peter, did you get the memo? Right. Little office space for you guys. Did you get the memo? It's the Antichrist spirit today. Alexander Dugin, maybe he's the one putting it out. Wouldn't surprise me, but everybody repeat after me. Antichrist spirit.
Also, U.S. President attacks the Pope.
He likes crime, I guess. He hit us think of it.
He called the Pope weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy
All
in
true.
posts and remarks. The clash stems mainly from the Pope's criticism of war, especially Iran, and calls for peace, disagreements over immigration and global policy. The Pope emphasizing peace, diplomacy, and humanitarian concerns, while Trump defending military action, law and order messaging, and nationalism. Respect for religion is an...
Did you see how the disdain in his voice when he said nationalism?
And nationalism.
Nationalism. His voice went down a whole octave. Man, Tucker has gone all out.
Respect for religion is an important principle in most societies because faith is deeply personal and meaningful to billions of people worldwide. At the same time, some people argue for freedom of expression, but even then, there is a widely accepted idea that free speech comes with responsibility, especially when it involves sensitive topics like religion. Even in political debate, many believe leaders should avoid mocking or using religion in a way that can be seen as disrespectful. From a critical standpoint, many people believe Trump's recent actions are unnecessary and harmful to public unity.
Thanks, Tucker. We really needed that. Again, the main thing is this. This is twice now in just a couple weeks.
It's an Antichrist.
He's used the Antichrist language. This is wild. Okay, to go from, again, for anybody who's still on the fence, let me just explain it to you real quick. If you went in as hard as these people did on getting Trump elected, on supporting him, on playing the game, gaining MAGA's trust, if you're legitimate and you really meant it, okay, and you really, really did like him, well, then what you do is you can have disagreements. Absolutely. There are things that Trump does or saying stuff I'm like, well, that didn't help. You can have disagreements. Trump is not a perfect person. He's just pretty darn close when it comes to how he runs the country. And so have those disagreements. Dislike the Iran war. That's fine. If you can't see what Trump's really doing and you don't like it, fine. But what you don't do, what somebody who actually respected and trusted somebody to become their leader, what you don't do is you go from, hey, we loved you and we have some disagreements, let's talk through this. Or, okay, I respect that you're not listening to me, but I still don't like this. You don't go from like a disagreement to, oh, you're the Antichrist in the span of a month. That's insanity. And that means you're either insane, legitimately insane, or you're really just an asset. Because you can't intellectually honestly get to that point. It's impossible. It would take years, or at the very least months, of Trump doing crazy stuff for you to actually believe that. To just spill it out like this, guys, it is completely an operation, which means they're taking orders. I don't know from whom. I have my guesses. I have a feeling it's all going to come out eventually, but this is, I mean, you can't unsee it once you see it. And it just, there's logically no other explanation. Alex Jones in all this. Here's his little post, and this is a collage somebody made, but here's his post right here. Why did Trump alter the AI Trump Jesus image to have a Luciferian ancient sun god behind him? Well, I don't know about you guys, but here's the post. All right. And this is what Alex is talking about right here in the middle. This guy with the wings. Okay. Now, I work with AI a lot. I do. And what I believe happened, because it's really, really hard to get AI to do images exactly as you want them. What you do is you give AI an idea, and then it creates it for you with its idea. And unless you write out an entire novel of every detail, you're going to get what AI thinks you want. And you just kind of say, cool, I like it. All right. This obviously wasn't the sun god. This to me looks like they said, put angels behind him. And it came up with this weird angelic being. Now, if you've read your Bible, sometimes the angels look a little weird. But you see the wings, and then you see it's either got like a crown on its head or some kind of weird head. But to go from that, and by the way, somebody like Alex Jones should know exactly what he's talking about on this instead of just spewing out this craziness. But to go from that, what an AI picture did, to saying it's a Luciferian ancient sun god. Now we know that Alex has just been going crazy the last few days. Absolutely crazy. Just, he's apologizing to Candace Owens, saying that she was actually right. He's backtracking on all that, coming up to his influencer buddies. He's calling Trump out, saying Melania hates him. Melania did the whole Epstein thing without talking to him. He's challenging Trump to fights. He's gone insane. Absolutely insane. But if we go back to the Q posts back in the day, we have some, we could just say they called it. How about that? We just say they called it. How about down here, this Q post right here? Why are the majority of Q attacks by pro-MAGA supporters coming from MOS-backed, which I believe is Mossad-backed, and or known associates, which would be MI6 or CIA? Over here, we say they attack AJ, Alex Jones. This is in 2018, guys, 8 years ago, calling out Alex Jones. They attack AJ to give him fake credibility amongst POTUS supporting patriots, thus poisoning the water and directing narrative of the opposition through Mossad supported asset, aka AJ. I'll drink to that one. Pretty clear at this point. These guys, intelligence, Alex Jones, father CIA, Tucker Carlson, father CIA, they all have their connections to those deep state intelligence agencies. We have MJ Truth saying Alex Jones screaming very loudly about Trump's Jesus meme. That's what you need to understand about him. And then he breaks it down. Watch out for who's screaming the loudest right now. Well, there it is. Then we got the other famous one, Candace Owens, who's got her own takes on religion and how we should all think about all this with Trump and the Catholic Church. Except here she is on Rogan just a few years back talking about her experience with religion.
Right? So I had this idea when we were talking, because Charlie is an evangelical Christian. I'm not, right? I believe in,
This super smart guy is an evangelical Christian.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
does he believe like Jesus came back to life?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. He's an evangelical Christian.
So he
right?
believes that someone died,
Yeah.
and then 3 days later,
Yeah.
they came back to life, and that they walked on water and
Yeah,
healed
I mean,
the
you have
sick.
to. I haven't really gotten into it with him because I'm not the person that should ever be like debating or talking about
Right.
religion. It's not my like shtick, I guess. Like I'm not the person that should ever be like debating or talking about
Right.
religion. It's not my.
Not a person that should ever be talking about religion. It's not my shtick. I'm not a Christian. She actually said that she converted from evangelical Christianity to Catholicism. Why lie, Candace? Why lie? I mean, this is weird stuff. Again, here's the problem. When you do years and years and years of content, and you're, in the old days, if you were an operative and you worked in media, well, guess what? The only way somebody knew if you had backtracked on something is if in the past they remembered it, but then they still couldn't prove it, or they taped stuff. Do you know how hard it was to tape Walter Cronkite every stinking night? That's, plus a lot of people didn't have tapes back then or ways of recording back then. It is not easy. Your DVR fills up. You deleted it. It's not until about the last 15 years that we've had nonstop everything uploaded to the internet. Well, guys, this is why I think we're heading in for a change. And once that change happens, it's not going to be undone. And the reason is we're not going backwards. Like in the past, you make big advances, they infiltrate, they hide, they psyop us, and over time you go backwards. Well, that's because the lack of knowledge availability. Well, now that's not a thing anymore. Now you get to show everybody the videos of everything. So once we win, and at what Trump's doing, we keep moving along winning. There's no going back this time. The people will not be duped again at the same level that we've been in the past, where in the past, half of us were duped, indoctrinated, college, whatever it was, and the other half just kind of fell asleep at the wheel. Oh, just don't leave me alone. Leave me alone. Let me live my life. I don't care about politics. Don't talk politics and religion at the table. Only the two most important subjects in the world, by the way. But don't talk that at the table. We just want to be asleep. We just want to focus on our lives, which there's not necessarily anything wrong with that per se. But what's wrong, what it does end up creating is a bunch of the best people who do just want to be left alone, who just want to live good lives, who want to focus on their family, their business. Those people end up not being the people who serve, who actually propel the nation forward. We need that. It's just like in Gladiator, when Marcus Aurelius says to Maximus, he's like, "You will be Caesar. Would you accept this great honor I've given you?" And Maximus is like, "With all my heart, no." And he's like, "That is why, Maximus, it must be you." That's exactly what it is. We want the people who don't want the power to be in power. And unfortunately, there hasn't been enough of that. But if everybody just gave up a couple years of their life and served, and we all just took turns doing it, we wouldn't have the crazy left who are power hungry, the people that all they care about is subverting our nation. We wouldn't have that. Well, now, because of social media, because of YouTube and videos and the internet, now we have all the receipts, and people are just going to get inspired more easily because they won't be able to lull us asleep the same. So I'm extremely bullish on the future. Let me just put it that way. All right, let's keep going though, because there's more to this. Now, how soon they forget. Did anybody care as much when this was what was going on with Obama? I mean, the first gay president, they put a rainbow halo around him. You want to talk about blasphemy? Friends, that's blasphemy. Selling stuff like this, Obama posters, Saint Obama. Obama hanging with a crown of thorns upon his head. Oh, it's just art, guys. It's just art. Obama figurines of Jesus. Sculpture of Obama as Jesus. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Some people were upset. They but it was regular people who were upset, not the media. The media thought it was hilarious, except for, probably a couple of Fox News hosts. But that's how far we've fallen, guys. And now Trump posts this, and he's suddenly the Antichrist. I don't know. It just doesn't quite add up to me. But, it is what it is. But the psyop continues. We got Nick Fuentes out there saying now, good luck to Trump and the GOP without Catholics, Muslims, anti-war voters, fiscal hops, immigration hops, prospective home buyers, anybody who wanted the Epstein files, anybody who watches Tucker, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, and Candace. I'm pretty sure at this point most people watching them are not MAGA or conservatives, but that's the narrative they're speaking. They're spinning it out there. Trump's the Antichrist, and they're trying to already convince us we've lost. That's what they do. And it's just going to be a nonstop assault. And from now until the midterms, and then after the midterms, they'll figure out something else as well. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to get a break from this, guys. You're not going to get a break. And so we guys got to keep calling it out, keep showing you what's really going on. And, when you're on X or Facebook or whatever, you don't see all these things at once. Okay. You see them kind of, and it's designed that way. It's designed so you see something and it kind of infuriates you, or it makes you curious, and so you keep scrolling, right? The algorithms always want you scrolling. That's great for the advertisers. But the reason I compile all this together so you can see it all together, so you can see how they coordinate. Because when you're scrolling, it's going to be, oh, Nick Fuentes said something crazy. Why are you even on my feed? But wow, that's kind of interesting. And then you see a poll that shows Republicans aren't doing so well. And then you see this other, thing about how we're stuck in Iran, and it just feeds you all that negativity as you're scrolling. And then after a while, you're going, oh my God, like, what's happening? And then you see Tucker talking about Trump being the Antichrist, and you're just like, oh man, you see, they know how you get it because you don't see all them in a row. They know what they're doing, and it is all coordinated. But Megyn Kelly, she had to go off on Trump today as well, and I'm not going to play her rant on that, but I am going to play her actually being honest for once. Listen to this.
If you saw, I don't bring my personal drama onto the show that often, but he came out and said, I'm not MAGA, and that Tucker's not MAGA. And he's right. I'm not MAGA. I've never been MAGA. As you know, I've described myself as MAGA adjacent, that I speak fluent MAGA. I understand what's important to MAGA, but I'm an independent and I'm a journalist first.
Sure, Megyn. I think all of us remember on Halloween when you dressed up with your MAGA hat on in your trash bag, looking like the trash. Remember Biden's garbage, and you dressed up like it. That's pretty MAGA, Megyn. So, but nice try. All right. Just in case you're blackpilling and think some of these people actually have a good point. Well, Cynical Public has put this great post up. It says, he needs to sign off for the day. I'm disgusted beyond belief of the people who suddenly are acting pious for political reasons when they have forever vocally supported, let's go through it, murdering unborn children by the bushel, nuns being persecuted for adhering to the doctrines of the Catholic Church, mutilation of confused children to satisfy parents' Munchausen syndrome, beautification of Barack Obama, Anthony Fauci, and Robert Mueller as holy figures throughout the media, harsh criticism of any Trump administration official who favorably mentions God or Jesus, the ending of religious assembly during COVID, a generalized disdain for Orthodox Christian and Catholic persons and beliefs, hatred for the most Orthodox, intellectual, and Catholic recent popes, Pope Benedict, embrace of all manner of perversions enumerated specifically in the Bible as sin, silence on the murder of 30,000 Persians by the Iranian mullahs, and the violent murder and persecution of Christians in large swaths of the Muslim world. Pope Leo is using the gospel as an excuse to meddle in purely political affairs. Politicians throughout America who hate the gospel are using feigned faith as a political cudgel. Disgusting beyond belief. Out. Absolutely. All these people are so fraudulent. It's mind-blowing, honestly. I'm somebody raised Christian. My father was a pastor technically he was a priest in the Episcopal and then later the Anglican Church. He was conservative though, and the church was moving far too liberal for him. And then he died way too soon, and loved by the community. My dad taught me what it was like to live like Jesus. Not perfectly, of course, but he gave his life for other people, including me and my siblings and my mom. But I witnessed that. I gave my life to Jesus at 12 years old. I love Jesus. I've never had a stray time where I turned away. I did dumb things, but I always loved Jesus. Always loved the church. Studied the Bible for 25 years. I've learned Greek and Hebrew. I've gone to Israel. Done all these things to learn more about the Word and what God's really like. Spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, millions of hours praying, meditating over the last 25, 30 years. I'm just telling you guys, like, I lived this life and I love God. I love Jesus. And it's like, it's the number one center force in my life, my North Star. And I'm telling you right now, I wasn't even offended in the slightest over this. Not even in the slightest. And I mean, I'm telling you, like, and I'm not saying some Christians aren't offended rightfully, because they might just be like, they might have a different view of how far is too far in having fun. And that's fine. Okay. I'm not going to pick on you, but it didn't offend me. And I'll tell you, like, I look at all these other people who just aren't calling out all this other craziness, who support all the most insane things. And yet they think that this is too far. I mean, that right there tells you all you need to know. And what also tells you all you need to know, guys, is Christians just in general are not that offended over this. They're not at all. So while all this is going on and they're trying to convince us Trump's the Antichrist and how terrible he is, it's a good time to be reminded of just how much we're actually winning. So we could see what this quote unquote Antichrist is doing. A reminder, the most powerful weapons in psychological warfare, psyops, is to discourage and demoralize your target, which is us. We are their targets. Don't allow anyone to tell you we're losing while the list keeps growing. Epstein blackmail op, Diddy blackmail op, Weinstein op, Podesta, Nexium, John of God, Peter Nygaard, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. All X'd out. Benjamin de Rothschild, dead. Evelyn Rothschild, dead. Jacob Rothschild, dead. William Rothschild, dead. Nathaniel Philip Rothschild, dead. David Rockefeller, dead. Kissinger, dead. Queen Elizabeth, dead. Prince Philip, dead. Silvio Berlusconi, dead. Constantine II, dead. Cheney dynasty, dead. McCain, Bush dynasties, all dead. 3 SCOTUS picks, 300 judges, Roe v. Wade overturned, constitutional carry protected, religious freedom secured, affirmative action overturned. This is all under Trump. Climate change agenda halted, West Virginia versus EPA, cleaner and safer streets, federal power weakened, 4th branch of government destroyed, which is the bureaucratic state. Trump accounts, creating generational wealth, American children from 70 plus vaccines to 11. Trump announces ban on institutional investors from buying single-family homes. U.S. left 66 total organizations that push globalist agendas. I thought he was one of them. Retards. I'm sorry. I get so angry. Revamping FDA grass standards to get 10,000 plus poisonous chemicals out of our food. EPA's landmark finding on greenhouse gases, harmful effect on climate repealed. Withdraw from the WHO. Withdraw from the pandemic treaty. Ending funding for the Corporation of Public Broadcasting. Adrenochrome exposed. Affirmative action ended. American spirit reignited. Big pharma exposed. Big tech exposed. Biolabs exposed. BLM exposed. British Empire exposed. Chemtrails exposed. Trafficking exposed. DI ended. Elections exposed. EO 13848 extended. I can't remember what that one is. Sorry. I should know that. Epstein files. Epstein survivors exposed. Swalwell hooker tape exposed. We just got that one. Soros, Eric George Soros rolls exposed, taken out of multiple states. Fake influencers exposed. Food exposed. FTX exposed. Soros exposed. Georgia Guidestones destroyed. Human trafficking arrest. JFK files. Massive amounts of resignations. Minnesota fraud exposed. MLK files. MSM Mockingbird exposed. Nationwide fraud exposed. NWO exposed. People worldwide waking up every day. Planned Parenthood being dismantled. Schools exposed. Social Security fraud exposed. Twitter takeover. Truth Social. Rumble. Running out of breath. Vaccines exposed. Warmongers exposed. We are the news now. Whew. Who's still blackpilling, folks? Trump and his team have accomplished all of this over the course of the last 10 years with only 5.5 of those years in power. That, my friends, is a massive beginning to the winning. And we still got 3.5 years left. Sorry, not 3.5 years. Almost 3 full years left of Trump. And then I'm telling you, we're getting the next round between Rubio, Vance. Trump will still be kingmaker. He'll still be the leader, overseeing it all. But MAGA's not going anywhere. This, my friends, is cultural shift. And cultural shift this big, this massive, a fourth turning, lasts for 20 plus years. You know what he didn't put in here? City of London exposed, China weekend. I mean, there's so many more wins. Venezuela. So, I mean, I'm telling you guys, Iran's about to be on this. We're living the good life right now. And if you can't see it, I don't know what else to tell you. But it's only going to keep going on. Trump's not the Antichrist. He's destroying the Antichrist spirit in the world, the globalist Antichrist spirit that was running things. He's pushing it back. God is using Trump to bring us into a new age for a while. I don't know how long it'll last, but I'm telling you, the best is yet to come. Can I get an amen? Whew. All right. I'm going to take a second before getting into our next. We're going to talk about Iran next. But before I do, let me get into the chat for a minute. Let's see how our poll went. 88% out of 261 votes were 262 votes. People are still voting. 88% were not offended, friends. That's pretty good. I'll leave it up. Let anybody else vote who wants to. I saw a couple super chats. I want to make sure I catch them. Lich Gore 7227 with the $10. Thank you so much. Lich Gore says, just think, guys, what we have given the world and have created for it with City of London boot in our neck. We are on our way to a new America. I am so excited. Blessings to you. We are the meek. Amen, brother. That's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. I said brother. You might not be a brother. You might be sister. But sorry. That's always my go-to. It's an old church thing. I'm just used to saying, what's up, brother? David, I'm guessing that one's a brother. 123 with the $10 donation says, they didn't learn a thing. Do not underestimate Trump. Hallelujah and amen to that. All right. Anything else I missed? Let me go through. Did anybody tag me on anything? Just want to make sure I'm not skipping you because, your stuff's important to me. I do try to get into the chat as much as possible, but it looks like not much right now. So people are on it, man. You guys are smart. What, Fuentes, evil, absolutely. That guy is a total. He's been an op since the beginning. There's just no other explanation for how he came to prominence so quickly, how he got completely out of the whole J6 stuff, even though he was there. It makes no sense unless you just understand that he's always been always been working against us. That's the only thing that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate you saying that. A Studio says, continue to pray over Trump administration, our country. We need to repent. These fools are trying to keep our country in darkness. Amen. I agree with you. And I do believe we're all in the process of that, which is the good news. Todd Williams says, the Trump picture is hilarious. Catholics should get rid of socialist tyrant Pope, but they haven't. What's their problem? Well, Francis was arguably even worse. So the Catholics have been bringing on socialist popes for a while now. And we'll see if they ever learn. But as long as it's the people in the Vatican picking them and not the people, I don't think that's going to happen. What's going on, Tammy? I know I'm a little earlier tonight, aren't I? Sorry. Anita says, Jesus only works through deeply flawed people. It's how he redeemed him. Who better deal with deeply flawed people than one of your own? Dude, listen, you're 100% right. The Bible, all these people who think like we need perfect leaders, and that's the only way God gets stuff done. Well, that's just not how it works. Sorry. But in the Bible, Moses, not perfect. Let's go back even further. Let's go back to Abraham. Abraham, the father of faith, pre-law Abraham, the guy gave his wife to Pharaoh, was like, yeah, she's my sister. Here, have her. And only God protected her. And then Abraham, even though he lied and basically gave his wife away, God was like, cool, you're still my father of the faith. And then he did it again to another king later. He's like, here, have my wife. God protected her again. See, God's so much better than we think he is. And he's also so much more forgiving than we think he is, because he looks at the heart. He knew that Abraham was a coward who had to learn how to become a real man. Moses flat out killed a guy. He murdered a guard, which, yes, the guard was beating one of the Hebrews, and he felt terrible, and so he wanted to intervene, but he did kill the guard who was just doing his job. I'm not saying he was a good person, but that's what he was doing. He was an Egyptian, and Moses killed him, and then he runs out into the wilderness, and then 40 years he's out there, and he had to learn how to get close to God and become a true leader. And even then he's like, God, I don't want to go. I don't speak well. And God just took away all of excuses and still made him go. I mean, amazing stuff. David like took his best friend's wife after seeing her bathing, takes her, Uriah's wife, his buddy, takes Bathsheba, sleeps with her that night. I get it's the king, but I mean, you can't say no to the king. It's basically rape. Okay. At the best, it's fornication. At the worst, it's rape. It's also helping your friends, your wife's cheating on your friend. Then, so embarrassed about it, sends his friend to the front lines. So he dies, which is murder, because he's the king. He ordered it. So he murders his friend. And then he repents. God doesn't let Bathsheba have their child. And then David breaks down, repents. God restores him and says, you're a man after my own heart. I mean, come on. These guys are not perfect people. Paul, who Jesus chose to spread the gospel to the nations, was a Christian killer. He was on his way to Damascus to kill Christians. He'd already killed many. They were terrified of Paul, the Pharisee who killed Christians, who persecuted Christians, which, by the way, those Jews persecuted Christians way worse than the Romans ever did. And he was one of them. And then he encounters Jesus. He escapes, and he has to be introduced to the people over years and years because they don't trust him. That's who God used to write most of the New Testament and spread the gospel to the Gentiles. Yeah. So tell me again how Donald Trump, God would never use him. Like, people just don't like even think They don't even think when they say that stuff. It's like, you don't like, I've studied my Bible for 20 plus years, guys. I mean, there's nobody in that Bible who's perfect except Jesus. There's nobody even that impressive except Jesus when you look at them as complete moral creatures. They're all flawed like crazy. And then, hey, Jesus used them because Jesus cares about the heart and the desire to serve him, and he'll make good out of it. So, yeah. So tell me again about how this picture is offensive. Sorry. Just don't have a problem with it. Just to be honest with you. Where's that poll at? Still at 88%, almost 300 votes. So we'll end the poll. And there it is, guys. So, all right. I got more to get to. Don't get me going on the Bible talk. We'll do usually the members' lives is where we get really deep into the Bible stuff, because the show must go on, man. And we got news to cover and to break down and narratives to break. So, yeah, David says Trump would probably be the nicest guy in the Bible other than Jesus and Mary. That's probably true. They were savage. Lochtefeld on Rumble says the city of London linked to the Vatican was evidenced by the murder of Roberto Calvi, who was found hanging from a bridge in London. Whoa. I don't know this story, Lochtefeld. I'm going to have to look into that. Thank you for sharing. That's wild. All right, guys, let's get into Iran and where we're at with that. Please hit the like and subscribe before we go on, and I'll get back into the chat here soon. All right. Okay. Let's talk about Iran. JD Vance gave the real breakdown of what happened at the talks the other day, and it's actually pretty fascinating. Let's hear what JD had to say about it.
Made clear where we're willing, again, to be accommodating, and we've made clear where we absolutely need to see the nuclear material come out of the country of Iran. Now, what's interesting, Brett, about this is that in the process of doing this negotiation, I do think that we acquired some knowledge about how the Iranians are negotiating. And this is ultimately why we left Pakistan, because what we figured out is that they were unable, I think the team that was there was unable to cut a deal, and they had to go back to Tehran, either from the supreme leader or somebody else, and actually get approval to the terms.
Do you hear what he just said? He said that the Iranians sent someone who couldn't even cut a deal. Do you know how insulting that is, with all the pains we went through to make this happen? Went to Pakistan, to Islamabad to make this negotiations happen, and they couldn't even send people who could make decisions. That's pathetic. It's insulting, and it shows you how not serious they are. No wonder Trump was ready to just drop the hammer on them.
That we had set. So again, whether we have further conversations, whether we ultimately get to a deal, I really think the ball is in the Iranian court, because we put a lot on the table. We actually made very clear what our red lines were. We also made clear, Brett, that we actually would be very happy. The President of the United States has said he would be very happy if Iran was treated like a normal country, if it had a normal economy, if its people were able to prosper and thrive. But in order for Iran to be a normal country economically, it's going to have to be a normal country from the perspective of not pursuing a nuclear weapon, and it's going to have to be a normal country from not pursuing terrorism. And so there really is, I think, a grand deal to be had here, but it's up to the Iranians, I think, to take the next step.
Basically, at this point, we're going to be like, hey, we're going to probably have to just destroy you guys, because the nukes and terrorists, funding the terrorists, they're not going to be allowed to do that. City of London's not going to allow them to make that deal. So unless the Iranian people rise up and overthrow this regime and come in with a new, like these guys, they are controlled. They're proxies. It will have to be a new regime. And Trump's not going to send boots on the ground. The siege of Strait of Hormuz proves that. This is Trump being so genius. I mean, he's navigated this in such a brilliant way, because he knows his base will not accept us sending in 100,000 troops and sitting in there for 6 months, a year, get drawn out. That's not acceptable. That's where he will actually start to lose a large portion of his base. So Trump's genius is in sieging them, cutting them off. But this is going to slowly force them out. The people are going to rise up at some point, or they're going to get weaker and weaker and weaker, and then we're just going to topple them with more airstrikes. It's really fascinating to watch this play out, but I think what we learned by them sending their JV team and our hard lines, because see, City of London cannot lose Iran having a nuke. Or pursuing it, I should say, because that's their destabilization key for the Middle East constantly. This is how they can constantly pull the triggers for war. This is how they can constantly keep things friction with Israel. This is how they can hopefully someday get to that deterrent so Iran could be permanently set up there for them. And then the terror part, they got to keep doing that because that's how they keep manipulating things in other areas of the Middle East and also keep fighting with Israel. Now, Israel, the Mossad political aspect of Israel, not all the people, okay, I'm not dogging on the Israelis, but their leadership, okay, and a good portion of obviously their intelligence agencies, it's all MI6 controlled, or I should say strongly MI6 influenced. And that's a part of it. They're pitting them against each other because it's good for them that we keep going in, spending all this money. They keep getting to control the oil prices, the fluctuations of shipping. And you notice that Trump cut that off first. That was one of the first things he did. Lloyd's of London broke their first contract in 330 years to get out. Trump stepped in on that. And so City of London's panicking because they're this close to losing one of their most powerful assets in the entire world in Iran. And they don't care about these people. They're going to make them hold on to the last minute. But Trump is doubling down even more. Say Iran's Navy, this is Trump's Truth Today. Iran's Navy is laying at the bottom of the sea, completely obliterated. 158 ships. What we have not hit are their small number of what they call fast attack ships, because we did not consider them much of a threat. Warning, if any of these ships come anywhere close to our blockade, they'll be immediately eliminated using the same system of kill we use against the drug dealers on boats at sea. It's almost like they did that on purpose all that time to show us what they could do to scare these other nations. It is quick and brutal. P.S. 98.2% of drugs coming in the U.S. by ocean or sea have stopped. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's just him flat out flexing, saying good luck. With us holding that blockade, see, they're cleaning out the mines right now. And if they bring in those ships, this can draw them out so we can hit them. Because otherwise, there's the small ships, they might be easy to hide, you know. They're smaller. Who knows? The Iranians, they're crafty. They are. They're not as powerful as everybody said they are, but they still are crafty. This draws them out. Take them out even more. The Navy's gone. All the big ships are gone. But, whatever else they got. I think Trump is purposely drawing out a lot of this fire. I really do. We were always hearing about the super duper secret special hypersonic missiles that are just going to obliterate us. Scott Ritter, the pedophile, telling us about how he knows more about Iran than Trump does. All this is going to happen. Never happened. But they do still have missiles. Draw them out. They obviously haven't been a threat. They keep getting shot down, no matter what. I think that's what Trump's doing. He's letting them expend their energy, weakening themselves. And now he's choking them out. Look at this. Okay. Look what Jesse Waters reports on what's going on in the Strait and how this is the impact it's having. This is pretty awesome.
It's probably the knockout punch. The Iranians are trying to outlast us. The longer the war goes on, the longer their regime can hold off a revolution. But their economy is experiencing a crippling depression. This blockade's costing the regime almost $400 million a day. That's $13 billion a month. Plus, the Iranians...
Did you hear that? $13 billion a month, $400 million a day is how much money they're losing because of this blockade.
Iranians can only store oil for about 2 weeks before they have to start shutting off wells. The Iranians can't outlast us. The world's turning to us for energy. Over 120 empty oil tankers are on their way to the Gulf of America.
Many ships are heading to our country right now as we speak to load up with the best. Really, I guess you could say, somebody said the best and sweetest. I don't know exactly what sweet is, but when it relates to oil, it's a good thing. But they're coming to our country right now. There are many boats coming to our country.
Iranian steel and petrochemical industries have been wiped out. Without oil revenue, all they can sell are pistachios to Pakistanis. It could get worse. The president's still weighing limited airstrikes, saying a number of additional targets are very easy to hit. The Iranians are losing their cards here. And Vance, who just spent 20 hours negotiating with them, says that we're in the driver's seat.
2 weeks.
Now the Iranian oil blockade is probably the...
Do you guys hear that? 2 weeks is all they have for stockpiling, and then they have to shut off their wells. Once they shut those down, you got to get them going again afterwards. This Trump has all the leverage. What was the ceasefire? 2 weeks. Now, they got 5 days out of it because of negotiations, but Trump blockade called out 2 week ceasefire. By the time the ceasefire is still on, okay, he's trying to goad them into breaking it, obviously. But if they don't break it, and then we come out of the ceasefire in another, what is it now, 7 more days, 8 more days? Well, then they only have like 5 days left until their oil is fully stockpiled, and they have to shut down their wells. The clock is ticking. It's about to all fall apart for them. Here's a little more on it.
At the same time, the numbers that you laid out, Iran has about, 200.
Sorry about the sound on these guys. The X clips don't always give the best sound.
At the same time, the numbers that you laid out, Iran has about, $280 million a day of export that goes out of the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. About $160 million in import that comes back a day. So you're cutting that out. And if that is not happening, then what's going to happen? Iran's going to have to store its oil that is extracting on offshore storage facilities or on tankers. And, I think within 13, 14, 2 weeks, Iran's going to run out of the ability to store oil. And then they're going to have to drop their extraction, which is going to pose a permanent long-term damage to its ability to extract oil. And that can lead into some kind of a friction within National Iranian Oil Tanker Company, National.
Permanent long-term damage. Guys, their entire economy depends on this oil. Like, there's not much else going on in Iran, okay? I know it's 90 million people, but it's desert. It's not a land of milk and honey, okay? It's just not. And so it is oil. It's oil and imports. You heard what he said. 100 billion plus of import, or 100 million. Did he say million or billion? 100 million, whatever, of imports coming in every day as well. All that blocked off. And they need that money. They need that. That's their food. That's their supplies. This is a country that is completely built on importing, exporting. That's how you survive in the desert. And Trump is this siege isn't going to have to last very long until they are severely weakened. Look at this right here. Blockade collapses Iran's imports to zero because there's no cash from oil exports to pay for anything. Sends Iran's currency into devaluation spiral, the economy into hyperinflation. I mean, look at that. Iran's monthly imports from all these different countries. And it's just going to drop off a cliff. And then you got China. China's massive economic exposure to the Middle East. China spent over $269 billion on investments and construction contracts since 2005. Saudi Arabia is the largest recipient. They're fine. UAE at $48 billion and Iraq at $40 billion. Chinese investments and construction contracts in Iran have reached $25 billion. You think the Chinese are going to be happy about losing that money? Meanwhile, Middle East trade with China has more than doubled since 2017 to $317 billion in 2024. Middle East trade with China, 1/3 of $1 trillion last year. Nearly 4 times the $85 billion in trade with the U.S. You hear that? The Middle East trades with China 4 times more than the United States. Who do you think this is hurting the most? It's Iran directly, and then you have City of London and China, our 2 largest enemies. This is just, hey, where could we hit that would knock out 4 birds with 1 stone? Iran? Cool, let's do it. That's what's happening right now. These countries, they're scrambling. Our enemies don't know what to do. Meanwhile, we're getting stronger. We're the number one energy exporter in the world. Natural gas and oil. It's not even close. Not even close. We're more than double the next closest person on oil, and we're more than double the next 2 or 3 closest people combined for natural gas now. It's insane. Like, Trump is creating a boom here that's just going to explode our economy. Just give it a while. Glenn Beck calls it out, and kudos to Glenn. He's done some good work lately. Says, what if the real story with Iran, by the way, he hasn't gone FAGA. So I also give Glenn kudos to that. You know, I'm never 100% sure with Glenn. He was a DeSantis guy. He was kind of quick to jump off of the Trump train, but right now he's being one of the loyal ones. So you never know. You know, I watch these guys carefully, but credit to good work when there's good work being done. What if the real story with Iran isn't about ending a terror regime? It's about no longer needing the Middle East. This is a big part of it. I believe the reset Trump was talking about, we're already starting to see it with the tankers coming to the Gulf of America. If America becomes the Western world's main supplier of oil, that means no more reliance on the Strait of Hormuz, no more worrying about choke points controlled by regimes that see chaos as a strategy, no more constant threat if a tanker gets hit, your gas price jumps $1 or $2 overnight. If energy becomes more regional and hemisphere-based, our wars for oil in the Middle East come to an end. Now that, guys, is a very true, important statement. Trump, what did he say he was going to do? End the forever wars. Where have our forever wars been? In the Middle East. And we've also had a couple other forever wars. We've had forever financial war with City of London. And we've had forever war. And by forever war, I just mean decades and decades of war. And we've had forever intelligence wars with communism, which is also the globalists, which is also City of London. He's ending the forever wars. The intelligence wars, the financial war we're dominating, and the military war. He's ending them. He's going regional. We're becoming sovereign. We're becoming more powerful than ever before. And he's exposed how weak all these other people were that we were supposed to. That's part of the intelligence war. They psyoped us into thinking that China was even close to as powerful as us. That's what Steve Bannon's out there saying. It's a lie. China has been exposed. They're completely weak compared to us. We are decades ahead of China at this point, especially militarily, especially financially. Sure, they brought in a lot of money, but we've exposed their flaws, and they are legion. City of London, their grips, their tentacles getting popped off everywhere. Just, they're losing it. We're bringing it all home. We're bringing our military home from NATO. We're starting to decouple. We're starting to expose that. We're stabilizing the Middle East permanently soon. These things are miracles, guys. This is how Trump is winning and doing stuff that everybody who's blackpilling, I gotta believe you just don't see it. You either don't see it or you don't believe it because you want to stay blackpilling, because blackpilling is all you know. You've been disappointed for so long. You just want to stay in your misery. Misery loves company. You want to go hang out with Tucker Crapson and, Megan Smelly now, the witch, Candace Owens. You want to hang out with those people and feel special because they're insiders. They know stuff. Trust me, bro. How is anybody blackpilling at this point? When you see what Trump's actually doing, it's like, ask yourself, who the hell are you listening to? Let the countries in the Middle East figure out what to do with the Strait of Hormuz and oil over there. We'll worry about our own hemisphere. Abso-freaking-lutely. And here's the EU. Here's how they're responding. Listen to this genius plan by Ursula von der Leyen, EU president, I believe. Listen to their genius. This is the toughness of Europe, guys. This is our allies. This is our special relationship that just is always going to be there for us, that has fought the world wars with us, that is so tough and strong and so cultured and so principled over time, and just the great, the basket of modern society. It's like, wow, these people are so amazing. Here's their proud response to how Europe will respond to their energy crisis and what's going on in Iran.
Is how can we reduce the demand? Because of course the least expensive energy is the energy that is not used. We should reduce demand while fully respecting the free choice of consumers. So we are looking at energy efficiency levels such as renovation of buildings or the renewal of equipment in industrial operations. These are some measures, but there are also other measures that we will present, or will be the core of the presentation of the communication next.
How pathetic is this? Here's how we're going to do it, guys. We're going to use less. You're not going to be able to heat and cool your homes as much. Oh, of course you're going to have free choice, but we are going to regulate the snot out of you and completely ruin your lives. But this is the cheapest energy, is the one you don't use. Stay home, be miserable, lockdowns. The rumor going around is for UK and EU is that they're going to use energy as a new excuse for a new round of lockdowns. That is damn sure not coming here. But it tells you how pathetic they are, guys, and how far they're coming along, because they're getting desperate, and they know their people are starting to rise up and get fed up. Look at what's going on in Ireland right now. The people are starting to fight back. They're getting scared, and so Trump is just defeating these people so thoroughly. Excuse me. They're defeating these people so thoroughly that this is where they're getting to. Desperation zone. NATO, of course, has now refused to join the Strait of Hormuz blockade. Britain and France have declined involvement. Macron's proposing a multinational mission to restore navigation instead. Oh, good job. That's real tough of you. NATO, guys, it's about time to say bye-bye. Now, I get pushback on this all the time. Trump can't pull out unilaterally. Well, true. Congress did vote a law to not let him do that. But here's the problem with that. The Constitution trumps any law passed by Congress. And the Constitution says that the president can unilaterally pull out of any treaty. So if Trump just does it, yeah, Congress can cry about it, but it'll go to the Supreme Court and they'll uphold it. It's pretty easy. Now, NATO is I'll tell you right now, the only reason we're still in NATO. The only reason we're still in NATO is that the American people, especially the people 50 and up, who remember the Soviet Union, who remember hiding under their desks doing drills for nukes, most of them have a fond memory of NATO. They still believe the old world order of us versus the Soviet Union. And so Trump, he's waiting until he feels he can fully get us out and still maintain support, because you have to have a certain level of support to get stuff done. You just do. Otherwise, the American people will make sure you lose your power. That's because he's not a king, by the way. But he's building that case. And every day NATO does stupid stuff like this, it makes it more and more obvious. Remember, you can't tell the people, you have to show them. And then Trump, they unveiled their next 5D chess move today. Somebody got mad at me today for saying 4D chess move. They're like, chess is always 4D, bro. Like, shut up. This is the people just want to like criticize. Everybody's always looking for a reason to be upset. Today, the United States has announced a defense partnership with Indonesia. Why is this a big deal? Well, we just locked up treaty partnership over the Strait of Malacca, which most of you probably never heard of it. But John Conrad, merchant marine ship captain, reports President Trump remains laser focused on securing the world's choke points. Strait of Malacca is unequivocally more important than Hormuz. Malacca is the #1 most traveled strait in the world for shipping. #1. Hormuz is 2. Way more important, and Trump's already locked up that. So what have we done since Trump came in? We got Panama Canal back, took it right back from China, said, screw you guys. We never should have lost it. China has now turned it over to us. Panama's made sure it's all ours. Took, 6 months to a year to work out, but it's been done. Strait of Hormuz, Trump is just blockade and taking control of, and we're now in partnership with Indonesia about Strait of Malacca. Trump has just secured the 3 most important areas for shipping in the entire world, so nobody can mess with it. And I know the Hormuz thing is still playing out, but it's looking pretty good. On one side of the strait is Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. On the other side is Indonesia. That's a big deal, friends. That's a big deal. And so if you can't see it yet, I don't know what to tell you, because it's pretty obvious what Trump's doing. Setting us up to be completely sovereign, everything needed, everything in place so nobody can mess with us. None of the big bads, China, City of London, Russia, North Korea is just whatever, Iran, none of them can disrupt us anymore. BRICS is so defeated and torn apart now, it's a joke. That was a bad joke that BRICS was ever gonna challenge us, BRICS nations. He's just completely wiped that all off the map. And now that all that's done, see, everybody's like, focus on the economy here at home, Trump, stop doing this. Dummies. You can't focus on the economy here at home unless you've made sure that everything worldwide is good to go. Because if we're going to be generationally wealthy country, golden age, we need to be able to trade. Because we need tariff revenue if we ever want to get rid of the income tax. We need tariff revenue to still be a wealthy country, fund our government, get more taxes back to the people, get our money back. And we need to be able to sell our goods to other countries, because we're going to have excess if we ever want to truly get revenue flowing at the apex. Trump has just secured all of that. Yeah, I have a feeling the economy is going to be really good in the next 6 months to a year. Let's watch and wait, but I'm excited about it. I'm feeling very excited about it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right. Next, guys, I'm going to get into Tulsi Gabbard's bombshell that she released today about the classified documents on the conspiracy behind Trump's second impeachment. So I will get to that in a minute here. But first, want to get back up into the chat. Say hey to everybody. Please, if you're enjoying this content, if you're learning anything, if you're getting encouraged, any of that stuff, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Feel free to support the channel. I definitely appreciate it. Saw us up a couple super chats. Let me call these out real quick. I got Minnie with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Minnie, for your support. Nick Majors with the $20 super chat says, God is good. Thanks for all you do. You're welcome, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. David with another $10 says, to be honest, if it wasn't for you and Promethean action, I wouldn't know what's going on. I'd still trust Trump. I'd be in the dark. Man, thank you for saying that. That means a lot. Listen, guys, it's humbling to me that you guys choose to watch my show. You choose to support me, be a part of this, everything. It's like I don't take it for granted. I started this show 3 years and 4 months ago with about 20 people watching. And, I did it because I loved it, because I believe in what I'm talking about. I'm a passionate person. do my best to be honest, to be open. Nobody owns me. I'm just a regular guy, work a 9-to-5 job, raising a family, and do this at night because I love it. And now the fact that there's, almost 700 of you watching across 3 platforms right now, that's humbling to me. It's really humbling to me. And, I love doing it. I appreciate you guys. So thank you. And, I hope you're enjoying it. So please hit that like and subscribe. So thank you guys for that. Did I miss anything directed at me? Let's see. Oh, Christina Abbott with the $7 donation. Thank you, Christina Abbott. As always, Christina, greatly appreciate you and your support. Thank you so much. Me be the owner of the Niners. Oh God. Yeah, that's not happening. That'd be hilarious, Shogun. Let's see here. We got Sierra here for 3 generations. I don't agree with that one. And let me tell you why. And I first of all, I know why people say it. Okay. I do understand that, but I'm a first generation American. My father came over here in 1952. He was 5 months old, and his father had been saving up because after, he was in Austria and they lived through the Nazis, and his father, just the second they had the money and the way to get out, they did. He was like, Europe is done. I'm done with Europe because I cannot do this anymore. America's the land of the free. And so my father came over here as somebody whose family had lived through the World War II and the Russian Revolution, and many of us died. There's very few people in the world with my last name, and they came over here and were like, we love this country, we're going to embrace this country. And I tell you, there's like, that would mean that I couldn't run for office, and I'd be, I'm more patriotic than 90% of people out there. I love this country. So you lose people who have that, and you don't want to lose that. You really don't. So I just don't think that's a good, but I do think there's other ways, that you can make sure of it. But there's some of us who are so grateful that we got here that we can just be very, very devoted to the future of this country, and wanted to see good things. So the trolls are out. That's okay. They can get banned, and now they can talk amongst themselves, and that's fine with me. But I'll tell you that I actually always consider the trolls a compliment, because if you have trolls, it means you're upsetting something, and you're upsetting the bad guys. And so I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That means I'm doing something right. Apothenis NZ says that makes you second generation, first generation. Is that how it works? Well, then I was saying it wrong. I always thought it was first generation because I'm first generation actually born here. But okay, if that's how it works, then that's how it works. Thanks, Nessa. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Seth says his family came here from Germany in 1784. That's awesome. That's awesome. Absolutely, Sierra. Absolutely. Okay, let's get into it. Got a couple smaller segments coming up here, guys, but important segments. And listen, remember the PSYOP? I get tired of the word PSYOP because I think it's kind of a ridiculous word, and not everybody gets it, or they think it's a weird, just they think it's a silly thing to say. But remember, a few weeks ago, the PSYOP began that Trump and Tulsi were button heads, that Trump was done with Tulsi Gabbard. Laura Loomer was pushing this, which Laura gets a lot of stuff right. I'm not always sure how I feel about Laura, because she gets a lot of stuff right, but she's also gotten some big things wrong. So, I'm not sure how I feel about Laura all the time, but I always pay attention because she's gotten so many things right. Now, her reporting, as well as all these other rumors, were saying Tulsi was going to be out next. She was, some people were saying she had an affair with Joe Kent, all this crazy stuff. And now it makes sense why they wanted her gone. Because Tulsi just dropped another bombshell from the intelligence agencies. And it is, today she wrote, newly declassified records expose how deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted false narrative that Congress used to usurp the will of the American people and impeach President Trump in 2019. Today, we reveal the truth. Now, she put together this nice little graphic with some really, really small letters, but thankfully somebody put a very nice summary together for us here. So, Kaneko the Great writes out, breaking, DNI Gabbard just released never-before-seen declassified documents exposing coordinated deep state conspiracy inside the intel community used to impeach Trump in 2019. This is the first impeachment, the Zelensky Ukraine impeachment. The whistleblower, CIA analyst, and self-declared registered Democrat who traveled with VP Biden to Ukraine, attended official Biden luncheons, admitted in his own filing to having zero firsthand knowledge of the Trump-Zelensky call, lied about contacting Adam Schiff's staff before filing, and relied on a key witness who co-authored the 2017 Russia hoax ICA and worked alongside disgraced FBI agent Peter Strzok. It was all a fraud. This means Alexander Vindman, remember the hero of the left because he listened to Trump's call and he reported it, total fraud. The witness admitted he couldn't connect the same dots, had to read between the lines, and only perceived a quid pro quo in hindsight. Oh, that's convenient. The documents further reveal the whistleblower tried to block Devin Nunes, a Gang of 8 member legally entitled to view the disclosure, from seeing it, expressed dislike of current FBI Director Kash Patel, and described NSC staffer Michael Ellis as slippery and untrustworthy. You know, when these bad guys dislike certain people, that makes me like them more. Nunes, always been awesome. Kash Patel, think about all the psyops. Is going to be fired today with my friend Kyle the liar, who's always wrong. That was April 2nd, by the way. Kash Patel still not fired. IG Atkinson never requested the actual call transcript, sent a criminal referral to DOJ on secondhand testimony alone, altered the whistleblower form to remove the firsthand knowledge requirement, and ignored explicit DOJ guidance that the complaint didn't rise to the level of urgent concern. He wrote Congress anyways. DOJ found no criminal violation. How badly did they just want to get rid of Trump? How disgustingly scared and pathetic are these people? It's crazy. Trump lawyer Alan Dershowitz, evidence again about the bias and credibility of the whistleblower was hidden by bureaucrats, a disservice to justice, American people. Devin Nunes called it staged attack by anti-Trump malcontents who believe they, not the American people, should determine president. That tells you a lot right there. They, not the American people. That's because the deep state. They'd had several presidents in a row. They didn't want to break the streak. They were so close to getting their big win with Hillary. And that would have been the end of our republic as we know it. She would have been the final straw. And Trump saved us. The exculpatory transcripts locked in a safe withheld from Trump's defense team until House Intelligence Chairman Rick Crawford forced a release on March 24th, 2026. Do you see this, guy? If you remember, censorship so bad at the time. Well, actually, let me go back to this real quick. I get so many people who are like, why isn't Trump doing this? We know, we want arrests, we want this. And it's like, well, there's lots of reasons. DC's way too corrupt to get any prosecutions. They had to weed out the old crowd, replace them with people who would actually do the bidding of Trump and the DOJ. And then we have this. So much intel has been hidden or destroyed that it takes a while to find the evidence and get the pieces together. These are realities, people. We deal with. People are living in a fantasy when they thought that Trump was going to do everything in the first 6 months and are bailing on him now. That's insane. Okay. That's insane. But unfortunately, there are realities such as this, evidence being hidden, that they're dealing with. Anyways, if you remember, censorship so bad at the time, Facebook and YouTube banned users simply for saying whistleblower's name, Eric Swalwell. Do you guys remember this? I totally remember this. When if you said this guy's name, it was an auto ban. Maybe that's why the buffering, because this is on screen. I don't know. This is Adam Schiff lying directly to the American people on the House floor during the impeachment hearing, claiming he had no idea who the whistleblower was, while his own staff had been in contact with him. That sounds like perjury, guys. I don't know. I don't know the rules on that, but pretty sure. If you remember at the time, censorship so bad against President Trump. Oh, he double posted this sentence. Anyways, documents are out. So Trump, here's Trump on it. Talking about this today.
Do you feel vindicated by those?
Yeah, I do. They're a bunch of crooked people. You're talking about with respect to all of the things that they put against me? Yeah. Well, it's come out that in so many different ways. Thank you very much for that question. I appreciate it. But in so many different ways, the election was rigged. The 2020 election was rigged. We found that out. What you just said is just a piece of that. It's a big piece, but minor, relatively speaking, compared to what they did. They cheated in the election. They cheated on the vote. And they cheated in every way possible. And it's the only way we got an incompetent man to be a president. And he was an incompetent man. Many of the things that we're talking about, even including this would have been settled a long time ago, not now. And it should have been settled by other presidents. But the election was a rigged election. We can't let that happen to our country.
It's concealment of exculpatory information. What should happen?
Well, it's very serious.
Sorry. Trump talking about this. He's got to be stoked. He's known about all this for years, equating it to the rigged election. He knows more is coming out. I mean, this has got to feel really, really good for Trump that he's starting to see all this come out. And the DOJ, man, isn't it interesting? We lost Pam Bondi, and then after Bondi's gone, Todd Blanche is in, and a guy who they didn't have to confirm, he's acting right now, so he can probably get away with a little bit more. And now we get this kind of stuff coming out from Tulsi Gabbard. I have a feeling, guys, things are going to start ramping up. We have that from Tulsi. And then today we find out this, talking about arrests and that stuff coming forth. Well, Nick Shirley, independent journalist, investigative journalist, exposing fraud team. California is now trying to criminalize investigative journalism. So Bondi gone, Blanche in. I told you guys we're getting ready to start making moves. And now we're getting exposure. And the deep state is terrified. They're fighting back. They don't want this exposure. They don't want these arrests. But it's starting to ramp up. We got to finish this Iran thing, or at least get it completely settled to where it is what it is. And then, guys, I'm telling you, I have a feeling things are about to heat up big time. Because Trump, what he just showed us, he showed us several times, but what he just showed us by doing the Strait of Hormuz blockade is that he's in I don't give two F's mode. He is going to do everything he needs to do to win. And when it comes to the midterms, he's like, watch me get us all taken care of, everything in place by like June, July. And then it's going to be campaigning like crazy after all this winning. That's what I believe is coming. So let's keep an eye on this. But again, this is massive. This is massive. And there's no way. Crossfire Hurricane, this Trump went on to blast James Comey again. Crossfire Hurricane in this, it's all starting. Like Tulsi is building the case. She's got the FBI raiding election places in Georgia, Arizona. We're getting all that information. I guarantee you there's cases being built right now. And we, based on the timeline, because now it's been a year and 3 months, we should start seeing fireworks soon. So I'm amped. I don't know about you guys, but I'm amped. And I feel like we're finally about to see a lot of the things we've been waiting for. So, all right. If you're enjoying this, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thanks. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I got one more. Actually, again, just want to get into the chat. I saw another super chat, so let me take a second to say, hey, looks like I'm buffering a little bit on YouTube. They don't like when I talk about that stuff, do they? Lichcore with another $10 says, we're living in 2 or more realities right now. This is why so many don't see the truth. Remember, they don't call it the Great Deception for nothing. Everyone pray for the lost. Amen. Yeah, it's been a deception that's been unraveling now for a while. And I think it's only going to get better and better every day. So, let's see. Ellen says, that's why I'm not particularly thrilled with the tech the admin's been breaking. I'm missing. That's a different conversation. Castellum says, all the people who attacked him for years, we don't see them anywhere anymore. Trump's almost always proven right with time. 10 years of being proven right. MAGA is a true blessing. Amen. Absolutely. Jake Cornett, thank you so much. He says, great show. Love the biblical breakdown. You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for watching and giving it a chance. Sheath on Rumble says, no buffering on Rumble. Yeah, Rumble likes free speech. YouTube doesn't like me getting in the weeds. But I will tell you, guys, YouTube has not demonetized one of my videos in about 3 or 4 months now. And other than the buffering, they haven't censored me. And they've allowed my shows to continue. So I got to say, YouTube, whatever Trump's doing, YouTube's mostly freed up right now. Because I do talk about all the stuff you're not supposed to talk about. Let's see. Ellen says, talking about direct energy weapon they used in Maui and Cali, they tried to pretend it didn't exist till GDG got back. I see. We have so much technology, and I'm not scared of it. I mean, it is crazy, but I think the right people have it, and it'll just keep getting more and more exposed. Like Trump's been using it in the military and in Venezuela and even Iran, and they're not hiding it, which is a good thing, because as that becomes public, it's once it's not a secret anymore, it's not as scary. Okay, it's harder for them to do crazy weird things with it. So Gen X says, I haven't been banned in months, I'm kind of offended. I like that. She says YouTube has gotten better. It has. Yeah. Meta isn't. I'm never on Meta, so I want to know. Johnny says Rumble buffers way more. Well, I will say this about Rumble, even though I love it and I support the mission of Rumble. Rumble has 2 big issues for me, and it's why it's not my main channel. Rumble's algorithm sucks. It does not promote new content at all. So it's like you're just lost on Rumble. It's impossible. It's very difficult to get found on Rumble. And the other thing is their tech's just not as good. But they don't have the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars of Google. So that's why I'm mostly on YouTube. Okay. Are you guys ready let's get a little saucy, shall we? Because we have a little Swalwelly. Let's talk about our Eric Swalwell. All right. So today, yesterday, Eric Swalwell got out of the California governor's race. And people are like, oh, he's just doing it to they're sacrificing him just so they can win the California governor's race. Well, listen, guys, I know 2 Republicans were winning that primary, but they were not going to let that happen. I'm sorry. It was fun while it lasted, but it just wasn't going to last. At some point, a Democrat was always going to drop out. They got Swalwell, but I'm telling you, they didn't want to get Swalwell. He's been a loyal soldier for the Democrats for the last decade. And the reason I know they didn't want to get him is because this is getting so bad. He's now said he's resigning from Congress. So he's losing everything, and this is about to get really bad. But here's the first video of him. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but this is him kissing a sex worker who apparently is underage. And Anna Paulina Luna is coming out and saying there's more coming. Another disgusting stuff coming out in Swalwell in the next 24 hours. For the members of Congress concerned about optics on expelling Swalwell, I think after the information drops, you'll be thinking otherwise. And speaking of her, here's Anna Paulina breaking it down just how bad it's about to get.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna is on the Oversight Committee, and she joins us now. All right, Congressman, what was Swalwell like in Congress? Did he have a rep?
Yeah, he did have a reputation. And as you know, Jesse, I was actually the member of Congress that wrote the expulsion resolution for him. And I was ready to call it up and did tell him that if he did not resign by tomorrow, that it would be filed. And we did have.
Big surprise there that Eric Swalwell had a rep of being a sleazy guy after sleeping with a Chinese spy. But, you know, who am I to judge, right?
The votes to expel him from Congress. So what I will say is that many people on the Hill knew about this. Many reporters have come forward, even in talking to me, saying that they had heard stories about this. But I do think that he has serious criminal problems on his hand, and I do think that he might end up in jail, Jesse. And if I could just share with you for a moment, not only did I receive forensic reporting showing that, you know, that infamous video of him in the hotel room was indeed him. It was not AI generated. But I'm also being told that, more stuff is going to be dropping in the next 24 hours. And then also potentially the individual that recorded that video in that hotel room, Jesse, was a female and she was underage.
Oh.
Ooh. No bueno there. That's not good. So Swalwell might be going to jail, which I'm just going to say that would make me feel so warm and fuzzy on the inside. You guys still blackpilling over there? Swalwell going bye-bye. Also today, Tony Gonzalez, Republican Texas, but this guy's a sleazeball, announced he's resigning due to ongoing fallout from scandal involving admitted extramarital affair with a former staffer who died by suicide. Not only did she die by suicide, she burned herself to death. Explicit text surfaced showing Gonzalez pursued sexual relationship with former aide. He initially denied it, but admitted the affair on air after the House Ethics Committee. So these guys are starting to drop like flies. It's very interesting. It's happening all at once. Now, George Santos, adding to it, calls him out. Santos, he doesn't care because after what they did to him, putting him in prison, he's only out because of a pardon from President Trump. And he likes to drop receipts. When I was in Congress, I used to talk to staff and reporters on the Hill a lot. During that time, I learned about the activities taking place in the cages, the storage rooms in the basement of the House office buildings. I reported to House admin chair at the time, Brian Steele, and he did nothing. Guys, these places are so gross. Madison Cawthon, do you guys remember him? He talked about how he was always invited to these sex parties and stuff up on Capitol Hill when he was a House rep, and he'd turn it down. And, of course, they got rid of him as a result. This is why. This is how sleazy this is up at the swamp. Over the course of my time on Capitol Hill, I learned a lot of members had rumors and allegations against them. Now, I'm not the sex police, never dug into it, but name a few rumors I heard about when I was there, members engaging in lewd or alleged sexual misconduct, like behavior with staff or reporters. And then he gives us names. I love it. Top two, Swalwell and Gonzalez, both gone. Cross them off. Miller, Republican Ohio. Muser, Republican Pennsylvania. Rosendale, former Republican Montana. Oh, former rep. He's gone now. Ruben Gallego. That's going to be sweet. Let's get him. That's the guy who stole the seat from Kerry Lake in Arizona. Total scumbag. Total, was a piece of crap in his divorce. Just awful man. And he had presidential aspirations too as a moderate Democrat. He's getting called out. Nancy Mace. I've been telling people Nancy Mace is a fraud. And everybody's like, oh, she's going after Epstein. That's why Trump hates her. No, it's not. She's using Epstein to cover her own stuff. She's running for governor of South Carolina. Anthony D'Esposito, Mark Green, Lori Chavez, Richie Torres. I cannot stand Richie Torres. Brian Steele, Republican. A lot of the Republicans, these are the deep staters, guys. This is how we clear them out. Cory Booker. Anybody surprised with that one? Cory Booker, man. And then Bob Menendez, who I believe might even be in prison right now for fraud. Anyways, George Santos, naming names. And now, even if, now these people are going to have to defend themselves. And we're going to start seeing if, let's just say we're going to be probably finding out a lot more of what's really going on Capitol Hill. And this might be the way the bad guys start getting weeded out, guys. This is excellent, and by the way, if it's not true, any of these could sue him. I know he's saying allegedly, but I'm sure they could find a way to come after him. And if they don't, that's kind of telling, isn't it? Moving on, Martin Shkreli. Now, this guy is not a good person. Okay. He's the guy who got a big name for, I believe he was the one who was just like upping up his drug prices he created and just price gouging people for a life-saving drug. Not a good dude, but he's also a dangerous person. He says, so all House Democrats, this can happen to you easily. I'm going to tell you one time, don't F with me. Ro Khanna, the guy who wants to be president, representative out of California, the darling of the deep liberal left, getting called out. I like it. We might see Ro Khanna go down. That would be beautiful. That's Thomas Massey's butt buddy over the Epstein files. You F with me. That's against the rules. So you next. Cannot wait to see what comes out with Ro Khanna. Everyone has a secret, a vice, a mistake, but not everyone has a determined enemy. Tread carefully. Direct threats. All of this coming out at once. This is very, very exciting. And then we have this little interesting tidbit from TMZ. Multiple Congress people projected to resign this week. Now we've had 2. Let's see if we get more. This is after those 2 announced it. As TMZ opens D.C. office to expose scandals. TMZ is about to do to Washington, D.C. what it's been doing to Hollywood all these years. I'm not a fan of TMZ. They're scummy. They're liberals, so they do, they lie about President Trump and stuff. But what they do well is they do catch people in doing bad things. And so for that sake, I'm ready for this. Like, let's get the reality show of DC so we can see how sick these people really are and get rid of them once for good. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. And you blackpilling bros, no more blackpilling. Things are about to ramp up. All right. I got one other thing I want to cover tonight, guys. Because this is fun. But the last thing I want to get through tonight, this will be shorter, but just a reminder of how well things are going for us. And that's this Cato analysis on Trump's immigration crackdown. They did a huge report. And look at this. Refugees down 90%, permanent immigrants down 50% or more, H-1Bs down 25%, 80% for new applicants, H-1Bs, student visas down 40%. Trump not only has a net outflow of illegals, but increasingly narrow entry for legal migrants. We're getting our country back is what it means. He's doing it. He's getting rid of them. They're self-deporting. He's getting out the worst, with ICE. The rest are, many of them are self-deporting, and then he's not letting them back in or anybody come in. This is amazing stuff. And this alone makes a successful presidency. I mean, because this changes the makeup of our nation for decades going forward. Because you get a blip like this and the people wake up and they start seeing how good it is, they're not going to allow mass illegal immigration again. We're just not going to do it. Not for a while, not until a generation dies out and forgets how bad it was. That's going to take time. So what Trump is doing right now, Justice alone is saving our country substantially going forward. And just a reminder of how bad it was. Between 21 and 24, 448,000 children crossed the border alone, placed in the care of the U.S. government. HHS put them with sponsors. Those sponsors were often not their parents. Only 37% of them ended up with a parent. The vetting process consisted of a phone call, no in-person meeting. Background checks skipped for 11,500 children. Home studies not conducted for 79,000 under the age of 12. Guys, this was all a human trafficking ring the Biden administration was running. It's the saddest, one of the most despicable things ever. And I guarantee you, like, we're going to have to see justice from this because of everything else. Like, this is the thing that displeases God the most. It's the most egregious to morality and you know, the spiritual world is the attacking of innocent children. Addresses collected for sponsors were wrong 80% of the time. That's on purpose. 65,000 calls to federal hotline reporting concerns about children went unanswered. When the Trump administration reviewed them, they found children calling to report grown men were coming in their rooms at night. Nothing was done. 290,000 children never given court date. 32,000 given court dates never showed up. 31,000 had blank or undeliverable addresses. They just disappeared. HHS sent 2 children to a household with MS-13 gang connections. HHS overruled the staff member. It's so disgusting. 15-year-old girl smuggled from Ecuador by an adult male, been in a relationship with her since 13. She was pregnant. 3 minors, 15, 16, 17, found living without their sponsor in filthy conditions. No food, no school enrollment, verbal, physical, sexual abuse. And it just goes on, guys. It's so awful. But this is the Biden administration. This is how evil the Democrats have gotten, because they knowingly perpetuated this. Our government under Biden was all Democrat, fully run. And don't get me wrong, plenty of sick Republicans too in DC. Not most Republicans in the Republican Party, and not even most Democrat people, voters. But one party is fully corrupt, and the other one is being purged of its corruption. But this is just, you know, this alone should make you just thankful every day we got Trump in there, just for these kids alone, that this isn't happening anymore. And then again, from the illegal immigration, 13,000 murders from illegal immigrants in 2024. 13,000. Oh, they don't commit crimes at the same rate as people. Remember that lie going around? It's insane. So listen, if nothing else, guys, just remember that you can be mad at Trump, you can disagree with Iran, whatever, but anybody retarded enough to say it wouldn't have been different with Kamala. Anybody retarded enough to say that, to truly believe it, they're idiots. Because what Trump is doing is, even the immigration alone, he's not only saving our country, he's saving hundreds of thousands of children. And that, my friends, alone is worth it. So I definitely will never regret voting for Donald Trump. And I honestly have issue with anybody who does. I really do. I cannot, once you see this stuff, once you know it, there's just no going back. So wanted to share that with you guys tonight, because it's definitely getting better. We are winning, and we're only going to win more and more. It's going to compound as we go forward. And I, for one, am not getting tired of it. So, all right, guys, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you guys for watching tonight. I appreciate it. Let me check into the chat one more time. See if I missed anything. Lots of good peeps in here tonight. Love it. Trish says globalists, NGOs, cartels, all involved in child pedo rings, in humble opinion. You're 100% right on that. We have Castellum says, wish could know the main ringleaders of the Biden admin. Biden was eating ice cream, feels on up. it's the cabal, it's a globalist, but their ringleader here in America calling a lot of the shots, it was Obama. Remember when Obama said, "Oh, if I could do another term, I could just maybe I'd put a little ring in Joe's ear and I'd just be talking to him." Like he pretty much admitted that Joe was a puppet and he was still running things. So that's where we're at with that. Okay. Anything else I miss? I don't think so. But listen, guys, Eric Swalwell gone. Immigration's fixed. Economy's getting fixed. We're taking back the country. Actually, we're not even taking it back. We're asserting our dominance as the number one superpower in ways that we've just never done before. We're making all that locked in. So the benefits are coming. The golden age could really, really, truly arrive. You can see how all the pieces could add up towards it. So very, very good stuff. So anyways, hit the like, hit the subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. Consider joining if you want to become part of the Discord chat, the members lives, all that extra content I do. It's there. It's free for you for a month in the description. Click the Patreon link, get a free month. And if you like it, stay for $5 a month and support the channel and the work I do. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the people who super chatted tonight. Really appreciate you. All my members, my moderators, love you guys. And for everybody else, thank you for subscribing and being a part of this community, checking me out, giving me a chance. And I'll just keep trying to get better for you guys. So before we leave, we always end in a prayer, and that's not going to change. So we'll do that tonight because prayer works. God gave us a miracle with Trump, and I think it's only going to get better going forward. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless everybody watching, everybody in the chat. Appreciate their support, God. And so I pray you bless them, and just be with them. Let them know you're with them, Lord, and they're not alone in anything. Father, thank you for the miracles you've given us. Thank you for, we almost lost our country. We were that close, and writing was on the wall, and who knows? We could have become Europe or worse than Europe. Who knows? And God, that's just not us. That's not what we wanted. You knew the people here didn't want it. And so you answered our prayers. You gave us a man we didn't understand and didn't even like at first, many of us, but he's proven to be just the greatest leader of the modern era. And we are so grateful for that. So I pray protection over him and over his team, over the Trump team, in Jesus' name. I ask God for wisdom for them, for navigating all impossible situations, and God, for the boldness to keep going after the difficult problems. Pray for our country, God, for prosperity, peace, and justice to reach our country like never before. And God, that you can deliver us into a golden age that's been promised by Trump and others. But I believe that's a prophetic declaration that actually came from you. And so, Father, I believe that. I believe you'll give us that, Lord, if we don't stop. So here we are, Lord, praying, pursuing, and pushing, God, for that, so that our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids can have a better America, a better world than we did. And we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. Love y'all. Appreciate you. I will be back tomorrow night. And until then, have a blessed night. God bless.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish, quiet. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. Everybody's selling truth like a brand.